I have a photo here and I already have masks on it. You can see the different masks here. Let me just play this video for you. Okay. So how do you create a mask? Well, there's a couple of ways. There's a couple of gotchas too. So let's talk about the gotchas first. If you have no layer selected, in other words, if this is selected, so how do I deselect it? I press F2. So now it's deselected. Now if I get my shape tool, this thing here, any shape, let's just take a rectangle, and you click and drag, you will actually create a shape layer like this. It has a specific color. It's just a shape. Okay, great. That's actually not what I want, so I'm going to undo that. But if you do select the layer right here, just pick a layer, and then you draw the shape, it becomes a mask, like so. All right, so just a basic shape. Now you could hold down, you can get your pen tool right here, pen tool, and then hold down your command key. Oops, undo. Command, hold on your option key, click on it and drag, and then you'll get your Bezier handles. And then you can adjust these any way you want. So I'm just holding down my option key while I drag these Bezier handles. Okay, to create your shape. So you can create any shape. You can create any kind of shape. You can see these shapes here, as long as you have a layer selected. So you could do a star, for example. Okay, there's your next mask. Just have your layer selected, and every mask you create will be a new layer, mask 1, mask 2, and if you don't want that particular mask, just select that mask layer and hit delete, like so. Okay, so that's how you create masks, and you can change them using the pen tool. Sometimes it's useful to create a mask, but you want to see the entire photo or the entire footage while you create the mask. So here's how you do that. Just double click on your layer, and you're going to go to your layers panel. So this is the layers panel here. And what you do is it says it's going to render the masks. So what you do is you turn off this render button, and it shows you the whole photo and your mask at the same time. So then you can then create a new mask, and in this case I just use the pen tool, and then you can, create your shape around what you need while you actually see the entire thing. And close it off. So make sure it's completely closed off, and if you want to see what it looks like, just hit this render button again. Okay? So again, you double click on the layer to go in the layers panel, and then turn off render and turn it back on to see what it looks like. Now for every mask you can create what is called a feathering. So let's render this. I'm going to click on render, and you can see how sharp this is. So if I'm going to zoom in, you can see the sharpness of the edge. Oh, come on. Stop already. There we go. If you see the sharpness of the edges, so if you select your masks, both of them, and twirl them down, you can see this mask feather. Now if you select only one mask, so I'm going to select this mask feather, and if I change this, you can see that it feathers this one. And but if I select both of them, both masks, and I feather, they both become feathered. So you can also copy one to the other. For example, if you like this one better, actually I like this one better, so I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to select this mask feather, Command C to copy it, and go to mask 1 and paste it. So now those numbers are the same. Let's animate a mask. This is mask 1. I'm actually going to animate mask 2 first. So this one here, you can see that this orange box corresponds to the orange of the mask. So that helps. You can also rename these if you want. You can just right click and choose rename. So freestyle 2019. So that tells you what that mask is. All right, so to animate a mask, what you do is you put your playhead where you want it to start. So let's just say I want to start in the beginning. And you turn on this mask path stopwatch. It gives you a keyframe. And then usually I do a backwards one. So I'm going to go 1 second later, right around there. And I add another keyframe right here. So now I have 2 keyframes. They look exactly the same, so nothing's animated. So then what I do is I go back to home, move that to the beginning there, and then I just get my pencil, my selection tool, and I just double click on this thing. When you double click on it, you get these handles. So then at the beginning, I want it to be nothing. So I'm going to just take this whole thing and hold down my command key, and it shrinks down to nothing. Like that. So then the animation goes from nothing, and then it expands out to whatever you had set here. So there you go. That's how you can animate a mask. You animate the mask path. All right. And then obviously if you want this to start later on in time, you can move this whole set of keyframes somewhere else. So let me show you what I did with my animated mask path. So I'm going to turn off this top one and turn on the bottom one. And I'm going to go back to composition masks. So here's the composition masks. So if I twirl this down, if I select this and type an M for masks, you can see that the mask paths that I have here. This is mask 1, which is this guy, and I've animated in 1 second to kind of come out like that. And then as soon as that's done, the next one starts, the middle mask. That one comes up, and that's these 2 keyframes here. And then the next one comes up, these 2 come up, and that's these 2 keyframes. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And then the last 2 on the edge here, these keyframes. And I F9'd all of them so that they all have this kind of a non-linear motion. Then the very last one I did was just a full mask of the entire scene. It's just a rectangle that expands from the center. So that's how I did my mask animation. So animated masks can be very, very, very cool if you know how to use them properly.